Hi, my name is Christiana Roth and I will be teaching the second bridging course on innovation management. By now, you have probably learned the stage gate process model for developing new products and services with all its benefits and challenges. In the first half of this course, we will learn some alternatives to the stage gate process model, namely some of the more agile methods. In this series of videos, we will look at what agility means and the Scrum framework in detail. You will gain most of our first class if you manage to go through those couple of videos before the class. In this video, we will look at Agile as a term and why it is important for business professionals. Back in 2018, Harvard Business Review published an article that said, by now, most business leaders are familiar with Agile innovation teams. When implemented correctly, Agile innovation teams almost always result in higher team productivity and morale, faster time to market, better quality, and lower risk than traditional approaches can achieve. Besides these obvious benefits of Agile teams and the Agile approaches in general, they also seem to offer a fairly good way to navigate the business in the VUCA world. VUCA is an acronym first coined by the US Army War College back in the 1990s. It was a way to describe the kind of world that they were training military leaders to face. Since then, it has become a globally recognized descriptor for the crazy, fast-paced, disruptive, fragile, and chaotic world that has become the new normal for all of us. VUCA is an acronym for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Let's look at what each of those terms actually mean. Volatility refers to the speed of change in an industry, market, or the world in general. With rapid and unexpected changes comes the fluctuation in demand and the necessity to shorten the time to market. The more volatile the world is, the more and faster things change. Uncertainty refers to the extent to which we can confidently predict the future. Uncertainty means that it's becoming more difficult to anticipate events or predict how they will unfold. Historical forecasts and past experiences are losing their relevance in a sense and are rarely applicable as a basis for predicting the shape of things to come. Complexity refers to the number of factors that we need to take into account, the variety and the relationships between them. The more factors, the greater their variety, and the more they are interconnected, the more complex our environment is. The higher the complexity, the harder it gets for us to actually make rational conclusions and decisions. Ambiguity refers to a lack of clarity about how to interpret something. A situation is ambiguous, for example, when information is incomplete, contradicting, or too inaccurate to actually draw clear conclusions. Therefore, the one-size-fits-all and the best practice have been harder to implement, since in today's world it's rare for things to be completely clear or precisely determinable. In practice, the four terms are related. The more complex and volatile an industry is, the harder it is to predict how it will develop in the future, and therefore the more uncertain it is. Now, more than ever, the entire world is currently experiencing VUCA on a large scale due to the humongous impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Because of this, many businesses across a variety of industries are struggling to understand the implications of this recent shift and figure out how they should actually adapt. So, by now, you're probably asking, how does agility help a company to navigate in the VUCA world? And what does Agile actually mean? Agile is really a collection of values and principles that teams can use to make decisions about how to do their work, be it the development work for new products and services or any other supporting activity a company might require. The term was created back in 2001 by a group of software developers. They gathered to discuss how to better develop software, and after a two-day meeting, they came up with the Agile Manifesto. An Agile Manifesto summarizes 4 Agile values and 12 principles. At the core of Agile, you will find small entrepreneurial groups who stay close to the customer and adapt quickly to the changing conditions. I discuss each of the values and principles in a separate video. So Agile is a way how companies can deal with volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity in a systematic way. In itself, Agile is surprisingly flexible, and there are quite a few approaches that correspond to Agile values and principles. Scrum, design thinking, Google Design Sprint, Lean Startup, Kanban, feature-driven development, extreme programming are just a few to name. You will get to know quite a few of them during this course and also later during your master program. For now, it is important to remember that Agile is not about a specific approach or methodology. It is a set of values and principles that teams can use to make better decisions.